Hello. One of the most devastating natural disasters is flood, which has become a global phenomenon, and Nigeria is getting its fair share of the menace. Now, let's go there. Good evening and welcome to the program. In March this year, the Nigeria Meteorological Agency presented weather forecast for the year 2018, predicting normal onset and cessation of rainfall in many parts of the country. But bearing in mind the increasing unpredictability of weather conditions globally, NIMET also predicted that 2018 has 60% chances of being the wettest in history. Therefore, unusual weather events should be expected. Now, the results is already being experienced with Jebia, Abuja, Sokoto, and some communities in Minna, Niger State, inundated with flash floods that wreaked havoc in the affected areas. In Katsina, for instance, over 44 deaths have been recorded and about 60 still missing. Abuja recorded 10, and of course, Niger 13, including domestic animals that were drowned in the flood. Now, you will recall that Nigeria had one of the worst floodings in recent times in 2012, when 30 out of 36 states of Nigeria were affected by the flood, killing more than 360 people and 2 million displaced from their homes. Many of them are yet to return to their ancestral homes since then. These flood disasters were predicted in over 400 local government areas of the nation in 2018. And the question on the lips of many Nigerians is, what are the mitigating measures being put in place to cushion the effect of the disaster, which is already here with us in the middle of the rainy season? Our guest tonight is the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Mustafa Mehaja. He'll be joining us in the course of the program. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Kirian Umayo, and this is Weekend File. The news comes first. President Muhammadu Buhari has again made a case for intensive voter education to enable Nigerians not only take pride in their permanent voter cards, but use them conscientiously in determining the nation's leaders. This was while receiving national executive members of the Buhari Support Group Center on a solidarity visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu was there for NTA News.
Established in 2014, the Buhari Support Group Center is an umbrella body of, among other pressure groups, Women for Buhari and Oshibanju, Akata Atsare, Northern Youth Assembly, and Buhari Renewal Mandate. The members are here to reaffirm their loyalty and support to President Muhammadu Buhari in his aspirations to genuinely provide responsive and responsible leadership for public good. The president once again used the opportunity to explain that his decision to seek the renewal of his mandate early enough was to send a clear message to the rabble-rousers.
When I come out and mention those who are serious, okay, let them come out. I'm very much aware of all that goes on from constituency to constituency. And I try to make sure that the party is reorganized and consolidated so that we start from bottom to top.
He spoke of the need for governors and other well-meaning Nigerians to ensure that people are well educated and enlightened on their civic responsibilities.
And voter education is very important. Tell people, let them take pride in their PBCs, and therefore let them keep it and use it across party, across religion, across ethnicity. This is an additional responsibility for you.
President Buhari formally thanked the Buhari Support Group Center for their sustained cooperation, understanding, and solidarity as a matter of patriotism.
I don't think I can thank you enough for the sacrifice and steadfastness you have shown by identifying yourself as a group consistently for all these years.
Director General of the group, Alhaji Umar Dembu, who enumerated the giant strides recorded by the Buhari administration in critical sectors of the economy, said as essential ingredients of election, members are committed more than ever towards safeguarding the Change Nigeria project.
May we assure you once again of our unflinching loyalty, and dedication.
Alhaji Umar Dembo used the forum to make public a critical compendium produced by the group on President Muhammadu Buhari and the remarkable accomplishments of the governing APC in the last 3 years. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Now, it was a great relief for 155 Nigerians who were earlier stranded in Russia as they arrived to the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, on board a chartered airline arranged by the federal government. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema was at the airport to witness their return. Foreign Affairs correspondent Makut Simon Macham reports.
As they file out from the aircraft chartered by the federal government to evacuate them from Russia, these 155 Nigerians had different tales, with many struggling to hide their identities. Now, the arrival of these Nigerians from Russia puts an end to what has been an embarrassing situation to Nigeria, where some of its citizens were lying in the airports and beginning to constitute nuisance in the streets of Moscow.
We bought a through and through ticket, but unfortunately for us, our return ticket was refunded.
Why?
We don't know. It will be another thing entirely if someone wants to cross. Nobody's crossing here.
Hereby express our sincere gratitude to Our Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema, who was at the airport to witness their return, speaks on the evacuation.
Allegations that the travel agents had cancelled abruptly the return leg of their tickets, and so they were not able to come back. So we had it in mind to, to investigate that.
A Nigerian volunteer based in Russia who has been involved in managing the stranded Nigerians sheds more light on their predicament.
The first thing they ask you, where can I get SIM card? You give him your phone, he will tell you, though, I'm calling Finland, thinking that from Russia to Finland is just something you can cross over, which is not true.
The minister explains that the government will soon hold a multi-stakeholder engagement to tackle the recurring embarrassment resulting from incidences such as this with Nigerians abroad. For now, there are indications that some other Nigerians may still be out there in Russia. In Abuja, Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
Over 200 shops have been gutted by midnight fire at the popular Terminus main market, Jos. Priscilla Gurunan reports that the Plateau State Commissioner of Police on the idea in an on-the-spot assessment at the scene of the incident alongside detectives instructed that security be beefed up around the area to avoid hoodlums taking advantage of the situation.
These are rubbles from what remains of the over 170 shops at the foot of the burnt Jos main market. The fire, which was said to have started around 1:30 in the morning, gutted shops mainly occupied by traders who deal in second-new clothing, shoes, cosmetics and restaurants. Plateau State Commissioner of Police Undi Adi, who led detectives to the scene of the incident, on an on-the-spot assessment, called on the traders to remain calm as he assured them of their safety.
My officers with the STF units were able to cordon off this place and ensured that there was no looting. A few of the wares here were salvaged. For now, we will continue to maintain security here to make sure that miscreants don't take undue advantage.
Chairman of the Terminus Market and some victims affected by the incident said they have lost fortunes worth millions of naira.
Before we put out the fire, they have already gotten up to 170 shops. In a single shop, he alone lost more than 15 million.
We have lost so much. In my shop, I did not salvage anything.
Although the cause of the fire could not be immediately ascertained, men of the fire service were seen trying to completely put out the fire in Jos. Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
Now, the Chief of Staff to Governor Rauf Aregbesola, Alhaji Boyega Oyetola, has been declared winner in the just concluded Osun State APC direct primary and returned as the standard bearer of the party for the September 22 governorship election. The returning officer, Senator Ovie Omo-Agege, who stood in for Governor Abdul Aziz Yari of Zamfara State, announced Oyetola, who won with 127,017 votes. Tobalabi reports.
Announcing the result of the direct primary held across the 332 wards in Osun State, Senator Ovie Omoagege acknowledged the spirit of sportsmanship displayed by the aspirants before, during, and after the election. The winner scored 127,017 votes. The Deputy Speaker, Mr. Lasun Yusuf, scored 21,975 votes.
Adeboyenge, having scored the majority of the lawful votes cast, is hereby declared the winner and returned as the official flag bearer.
I salute you and stretch out my hands of fellowship and brotherhood to each and every four contestants for this statement.
I am satisfied as the chairman of these primaries.
This is about the first time the party will adopt direct primary in Osun State. In Osogbo, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
Now, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Comrade Adams Oshomole, says the party is ready to leave open the option of direct or indirect method of conducting primary elections to choose candidates in the forthcoming general elections. He said this while receiving the report of the just concluded Osun governorship primary election. Salihu Abdullahi tells us more.
The July 20th, 2018 governorship primary in Osun State that produced Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola as candidate of the APC for the September 22nd governorship election is the first to be conducted by the party's new leadership. While presenting the report of the exercise to the national leadership of the party, chairman of the Osun governorship primary, Governor Abdulaziz Yari of Zamfara State, recommended direct primary for transparency.
Because one is less cost and very, very effective. For instance, now if we are winning election with 300, 400, already we have 1/4 of our result.
APC National Chairman Comrade Adams Oshomole commended the peaceful conduct by APC supporters in Osun State and assured that the new leadership will operate an open-door policy where all members will be given equal opportunity for the growth of the party.
We are not going to purport to know anyone's interest more than the people in the locality, which is why the operative word for me is that in every issue and at every level, the party must consult with the stakeholders in the state or stakeholders in the senatorial or the stakeholders in the federal constituency.
A 3-member appeals committee has been set up to hear possible appeals and petitions. Meanwhile, the national chairman of APC held a closed-door meeting with governors of Zamfara, Kebbi, and Jigawa states. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has reaffirmed the commitment of the progressive government in Nigeria on the continued execution of infrastructure development to tackle the contemporary human needs. In a message to a solidarity rally organized by APC faithful at Ikotebene, Akwa Ibom State, Northwest Senatorial District, the president noted with delight the way people identified with his ideals on transparency and good governance.
Government, through the Federal Ministry of Transportation, is speeding up the processes for the construction of the Ibom Deep Sea Port at Ibaka, Akwa Ibom State.
Political leaders, including the representative of the national chairman of the APC, unanimously said that President Muhammadu Buhari is providing leadership that ensures equity and justice with opportunity for all parts of the nation to have federal presence.
Of Nigeria has done very well. You look at the number of presidential aspirants in their fold, you cannot see a Buhari.
The rally was an opportunity for the APC to receive defectors from other political parties who joined to support the party for 2019 general elections. 8 aspirants have formally withdrawn from the PDP governorship primary election in Osun State, leaving only 3 aspirants, including Senator Ademola Adeleke, who keenly contests to become the party's candidate for the governorship election slated for the 22nd of September. Tunji Adeboju, who is monitoring the primary election, reports that 3,439 delegates defied the reins to participate. And still on political matters, ex-international Segun Odebwami has joined the governorship race in Ogun State ahead of the 2019 general elections on the platform of the Labour Party. Odebwami declared his ambition while addressing faithful at the party secretariat in Abuja. Mohammed Adebowale reports.
Crowds of party faithful thronged the party secretariat located at Quarry Road, Abuja, to welcome the gubernatorial aspirant, Chief Segun Odegbami. While welcoming the former Green Eagles captain into the party, the Labour Party chairman in the state, Comrade Abayomi Arabambi, encouraged party members to work towards the success of the party at various levels in the 2019 general elections. Chief Segun Odegbami, who is seeking party nomination in the state governorship elections in 2019, said his decision to join partisan politics is born out of his age-long vision to contribute to the socio-economic development of the state at that level.
I believe that this day is going to be historic, not only in my life, but in the lives of all citizens of Ogun State.
He called on people of the state to support his governorship ambition for a more developed Ogun State. In Abeokuta, Mohammed Adebowale, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is in Dubai to address top corporate executives and international business organizations in the Middle East and Africa. The event, organized by the Christ Redeemers Friends International Middle East United Arab Emirates UAE chapter, is aimed at exploring investment opportunities for corporate professionals and business organizations in the UAE and Nigeria. A release by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Laolu Akonde, states that the event is also aimed at creating an environment for mutual interaction and opportunity to showcase the best of Nigeria in the current economic climate and project Nigeria's business image abroad. The Vice President is expected back on Sunday. Now, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has rounded off a high-level roundtable session with high-profile think tank and global policy decision makers in Washington, D.C. The forum, under the auspices of the Atlantic Council, a think tank and research center, was for the Nigerian Information and Culture Minister to provide a comprehensive update about the state of affairs in Nigeria. Anthony Folsom was there.
Lai Mohammed is visiting Atlantic Council on the invitation of Dr. Peter Pham, Vice President for Research and Regional Initiatives and Director, African Center. They sought to know the true position on alleged human rights violation by security forces, both in the course of operation and in the IDP camps.
It is not a policy of the government of Nigeria to violate the rights of, either detainees or returnees or, people in the internally disposed camp.
The minister also brought them to speed on the true situation about herdsmen and farmers' crisis.
This issue is not just economic, but sometimes it's cultural, and that we should intensify our advocacy and try to get both the farmers and the herdsmen to adopt, modern techniques of farming and modern techniques of ranching.
The state of the nation's economy was not left out of the briefing.
In 2017 alone, over $1.3 billion was invested, as a foreign direct investment by the United States of America.
On the whole, Lai Mohammed left his hosts satisfied, although most of them had at one time or the other visited northeast of Nigeria, hence their full understanding of the situation. From Washington, D.C., Anthony Folsom, NTA News.
Now, NIMET 2018 seasonal rainfall prediction shows that so much water will be made available on the Earth's surface between the last week of July and the end of August. You're watching Weekend File, and next will be reports from our correspondents across the nation. Do keep it here with us. I'll be right back.
A beautiful life and a great future is possible. Stand with Standards Organization of Nigeria. Avoid substandard products, electrical appliances with damaging effects, tires without DOT number, stuffed and rusty edges. They can cause accidents. 12.5 kg LPG cylinders used as camp gas is a disaster waiting to happen. Substandard cables can cause inferno. Other substandard products to avoid include batteries, electrical bulbs, iron rods, pressing iron, brake pads. They will only endanger our today and future. Join hands with SON in ridding our country of substandard products. Don't buy or sell substandard products. See something, say something. Call these numbers. Standards Organization of Nigeria. Improving life through standards.
National Assembly Senate and House Committees on Capital Markets and Institutions, in collaboration with SEC and other stakeholders, invites you to the second Capital Market Stakeholders Forum. Theme: Capital Markets as a Catalyst for Economic Growth and Development. Date: Monday 23rd July 2018. Time: 9 a.m. prompt. Venue: Ladikwali Hall, Sheraton Hotel and Towers, Abuja. Special guest of honor: Professor Yemi Oshibajo, GCON SAN, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Chief host: Senator Dr. Bukola Saraki, President of the Senate. Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, Speaker, House of Representatives.
Other dignitaries include Mrs. Kenny Adeosun, Minister of Finance, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, Governor CBN, Ms. Mary Uduk, Acting DG SEC, Mr. Ben Akabweze, DG Budget Office, Mr. Bimbola Ogumbanjo, President NSE, Dr. Samshuddin Usman, former Finance Minister, as well as other market experts. The Joint Committee on Capital Markets and Institutions. Announcer.
The Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, Power Sector, Abuja, wishes to inform the public of the National Council on Power, NACOP, scheduled for Monday 23rd to Friday 27th July 2018. Venue: Brandeki Royal Hotel, 6 Uheneyu Street, off Iyama Road, GRA, Benin City. Time: 9 a.m. daily. Theme: Sustaining access to electricity through improved power infrastructure. The National Council on Power, NACOP, is a forum for all stakeholders in the sector to deliberate on issues and propose solutions to challenges facing the sector. The Honorable Minister, Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Raju Fashola, will chair the executive session of all state commissioners responsible for power and energy on Thursday, 26 July 2018. Chairman of Senate and House Committees on Power, Donor Agency, as well as other stakeholders are expected to be in attendance. Chief host, His Excellency Mr. Godwin Obaseki, Executive Governor, Edo State. Permanent Secretary, Power, Announcer.
Your perfect family is under threat by germs. Infectious diseases are now the world's biggest killer of adults and children. Every day, 16,000 children under the ages of 5 and thousands of adults die from infectious diseases. These infectious diseases are caused by germs. They are everywhere. An average human being comes in contact with over 1 million germs daily. In unclean water, dirty surfaces, in the toilet, on cuts and wounds, on your clothes. Germs can cause deadly diseases like typhoid, diarrhea, flu, and cough. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's 1 Cap Full for surface cleaning in your bathing water, in your laundry water, for first aid, to protect your family from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol Sure. Endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association.
The House Committee on Sports announces the shifted date of its 2-day National Sports Summit, earlier scheduled to hold on July 23rd and 24th, 2018 at Nikon Luxury, Abuja. The shifted date is largely due to the forthcoming African Youth Championship, slated for July 18th to 28th, 2018 in Algiers. A large concentration of stakeholders and sports enthusiasts are expected to be away in Algiers for the championship. The new dates for the summit are 14th and 15th August 2018 at the same venue, Nikon Luxury Hotel, Abuja. Inconveniences arising from these are highly regretted. For more information, please contact Okeyinka Matthew, Global Sports Consult, 0818-5522-268, 0805-328-3336. Suleiman Fatai, Clerk, House Committee on Sports, 0806-77-13438, 0818-556-8873.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
And we are glad to have you back again on the show. Flood is a respecter of no one and forces its way through, not minding the devastation it causes to humanity. Unwanted guests, yes, but never fails on the annual visit to different areas in the country. The visit of this unwanted guest called flood is now in Nigeria, wreaking unspeakable magnitude of havoc. Disturbed by this, Mayor Ogidi takes a look the sad tales that accompany flood and rescue efforts put in place.
From Katsina in the north to Rivers and Edo states in the south are all sad commentaries of loss of lives and property as a result of flood.
In my life, I never see this kind of disaster like yesterday.
They should not give permission to people to build in places we know are flood prone.
Regrettably, most of these incidents were predicted by the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, and the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, in the 2018 seasonal rainfall outlook. Some states and local government areas were put on the red alert and warnings given in May this year.
Stop giving building permits, discourage illegal construction of buildings on water courses, clean up stormwater drains on an annual basis to ensure that water is allowed to flow.
Most of the incidents recorded so far in 2018 are flash and urban flooding. This means they are human-induced, either poor town planning or blocked drains.
It's about 2 years ago, they haven't cleared this canal.
We cannot probably have officers that will be looking after each drain. The people of an area should own their area.
Even as the game of casting aspersion continues, the National Economic Council is worried by the drowning of the land, and measures have been concluded.
Short time and sustainable way to desilting major tributaries, canals, ahead of the flooding session. This is relatively inexpensive and executable within a very short period of time. The council also agreed that there will be need to set up a federal project monitoring unit. Council also approved a project cost sharing ratio of federal government 30%, state government 30%, Presidential Committee on Flood 40% on identified projects.
The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has met critical partners in disaster management to work out ways of mitigating the pains the victims go through in moments like this.
We are trying to equip ourselves with all the facilities to make sure that we have the necessary information, which are the tools for us to respond.
Experts are worried that spending money on avoidable tragedies is not a wise one, but this has become the standard in Nigeria. They therefore called on relevant government agencies to take proactive measures instead of reacting to situations like this. Mayor Ogidi, NTA News.
Thank you indeed, Mayor, for that background report. Now, from Sokoto, Shehu Mohammed Dati reports that experts are of the opinion that natural and human factors are responsible for the recent devastating flood in the area.
Naturally, flood occurs due to overflow of river banks, prolonged steady rain, flash flooding due to sudden excessive downpour, which covers a whole portion of land, houses, and sometimes farmlands. Human activities like urbanization, deforestation, and poorly designed infrastructure, as well as dumping refuse in the drainage system and culverts, do cause overflow of rain, leading to flood. According to the NIMET prediction for the year 2018, Sokoto State is among the northwest southwestern states likely to experience flood in the early onset. One local government area in Sokoto State recently witnessed flood that led to the submerging of some houses, loss of animals, foodstuff, and farmlands. The victim said their belongings and animals all perished, leaving them homeless.
So for our region here, the average rainfall is usually around 500 to 600 millimeters. In a day, we may end up receiving about 100 millimeters just for one rainfall event. In that case, we realize that there is high tendency of flood to occur.
Floods can be prevented with proper planning and adaptation of effective mitigation measures, particularly in areas prone to flooding. Improving water drainage helps control flood, especially in urban areas. Therefore, there is a need for government to provide adequate drainage system and culverts. Inhabitants should adhere to warning signals and avoid construction on the lowlands and waterways.
We have already planned an exercise whereby we will address the issue of the main chambers first, and then the other places will now follow. So we have that plan to the other drainages to allow free flow of water.
Experts believe that though a natural phenomenon cannot be controlled, measures can be taken to avert flooding. In Sokoto, Shu Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
And in Delta State, flooding has been associated with torrential rainfall, human activities, and coupled with the lack of adequate drainage system and rare cases of rivers overflowing their banks. In this report, Austin Demodu examines the effect of flooding in the state and efforts in tackling the menace.
Every torrential rainfall is always accompanied by heavy flooding in some major cities in Delta State, including the state capital, Asaba. No doubt flooding has become an ecological challenge with devastating consequences on roads, life, and property. Why has flooding become a perennial problem in some parts of the state?
Asaba is in a valley. Okpanam, which is nearest town to this, is in a hill. So there's always a wash down of water from Okpanam to Asaba. But the increase of human activities has increased the flooding now. Because it has been neglected, so the impact is now pronounced, on the people.
As part of strategies towards tackling this ecological challenge, the Delta State government has embarked on the construction of storm drains across the state capital and beyond.
Before March next year, there will not be anything like flooding in Asaba again. It's a network of stormwater drain that is draining all the water in Asaba. It's not a precast thing that you just import and put it on ground and there will not be out of flooding again. Government is on top of it.
In spite of these measures, experts warn that several factors, if not properly handled, could negatively affect the desired result.
And even when some of these drains are constructed, we, the citizens, the indigents, sometimes we use these places as a dumping ground. Rain is falling, let me just come and throw my refuse away. And so the refuse is supposed to pass through the drain to where? Nobody knows.
As a state that is prone to natural flooding, Delta State is on the alert list of impending flood as forecast by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency. I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
2018 rainy season may go down in history as one that came with so much devastation and loss of lives in Katsina State. The season was launched with heavy windstorm, as has never been seen before, followed by torrential rains. Lawal Ahmad Matazu has the report.
This was how it all started on May 22, 2018, the beginning of the rainy season in Katsina. Many people say this year's beginning of the rainy season was quite unusual. 8 people were officially confirmed dead, and properties worth millions of naira destroyed. Then came a report from Charanchi local government, where a whole community was submerged underwater, and the community had to be resettled as IDPs.
Which happened yesterday, it destroyed a lot of households, their properties, animals, and others.
A few weeks later, a report came in from Dora that rainstorm had destroyed houses, economic trees, and farmlands. In Jivia, the flood claimed over 50 lives. And as at time of writing this report, several people are still unaccounted for, and over 2,000 people are displaced. Many observe that reckless human activities along historical waterways, such as building residential areas and dumping refuse, have contributed to the high level of devastation by the floods.
We are going to make sure, we are working with the state government to make sure that all of what is required to make these places safe is done, so that the drainage is clear and all of the necessary drainage facilities are provided, and that where people are building on drainage, we also make sure that we relocate them.
In Katsina, Lawal Ahmed Matazo, NTA News.
Over the years, communities in Niger State have grappled with challenges of perennial flooding due largely to the presence of two major rivers, their tributaries, and 3 hydroelectric dams. Dauda Mohammed reports that damages and deaths recorded in the past have now been mitigated due to the concerted efforts by stakeholders.
In the last 2 years, 18 local government areas out of the 25 in Niger State have been affected by flood, killing 25 people, including women, children, as well as destroying hundreds of houses. This year alone, floods have been recorded in 4 local government areas, with 13 lives lost, while farmlands, houses, as well as other properties destroyed. Sensitization has been key in the reduction of lives and property loss to flooding.
The state government is trying all its best for relocation of some of those villages along the riverbed, and this awareness even helps us now. So we need full support from the federal government, because not all that the state government can cater.
All hands are on deck to sensitize the locals on the dangers that is involved with issue of flooding. So every year, that is what we keep on doing, and as you can see, the indices each year is dropping. So we thank God people are appreciating and adhering to warnings that come from professional organizations.
The traditional institution in the state has also assured of its support in sensitizing subjects to the dangers of flooding.
We now urge our people to ensure that we open all drainages, ensure that any blocked drainage are properly opened, so that when this water comes, they're going to have a pass, sort of a way to pass, and thereby reducing the dangers that can cause flooding and destruction.
According to rainfall prediction by NIMET, Niger State is expected to witness normal onset and cessation of rains. However, high incidence of floods in the state normally occur towards the cessation period of the rains between September and November. In Mina, Dauda Muhammad, NTA News.
The flood that recently ravaged Abuja, the Ogun State capital, and environs has thrown up a lot of issues of concern, bearing in mind the massive infrastructure in place to reduce the impact by the state government. Shegu Laole takes a holistic look at the flash flood and strategies being contemplated to avoid reoccurrence.
It was so devastating that many houses, business outfits and streets were submerged while the ravaging flood lasted.
There was a car that was parked here. The person came to wash it because I own the car wash. And before the person could come to pick it up, the car was swept away.
Needless to say that the state government will not hesitate, being decisive, having identified negative human activities on the environment as part of the contributory factors to the devastation.
The rains appear to have been so heavy that they simply overcame the infrastructure that was already in existence. So what we're looking at is how this can be enhanced, how the drainage can be enhanced, how the channelization can be enhanced, and we're in discussions with His Excellency the Governor to see in what specific ways the federal government can be of assistance.
On waterways, they built on it. If you look at what has happened to this church, look at the way it's come, the waterway, look at it, the water path. As even we speak, they are still building on waterways, on the pathways of where, of course, when we have flood or anything like this, where they should pass. Those ones, we are not going to spare them. We are going to demolish.
The good news, however, is that the federal government, through the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, is giving succor to victims through the state government. In Abuja, Shegun Lawale, NTA News.
We have just intimated you with the immediate and remote causes of flood in some parts of the country and ways out of the challenge. Now, Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Mustafa Mehaja, is of course our guest tonight, and we'll be speaking with him in just a moment. Don't go away.
Share a mantis, make a friend. Stick together till the end. Share a mantis, socialize. Share Mentos and be nice. Mentos candy. Crunchy outside, chewy inside. Let's have some fun. Who says no to Mentos? Now introducing the new Mentos Extra Strong Mint.
Winning in hot and dry conditions is hard. Causes the body to sweat, which attracts germs that are easily passed from one person to another.
What keeps you so cool, man?
Dettol Cool combines Dettol's protection and an invincible icy feel. For super cool confidence, use Dettol Cool.
Dettol soap is now also available for 100 Naira only.
When you think about hospitality and affordable luxury away from home, then you talk about Sharon Ultimate Hotels, a secured and serene environment that offers kingly services such as 24-hour room service, impeccable security with CCTV surveillance, parking lots, free Wi-Fi internet service, free complimentary breakfast, restaurants that offers continental and local dishes, well-equipped fitness